Joe Biden is flailing. The man has a lot of trouble. Build Back Better is basically dead on arrival. He just got shellacked in Virginia. He nearly lost the governorship of New Jersey for his party. He just came back from COP26, this giant global warming conference, with nothing, like with really nothing. And people mocking him openly at this point. The biggest story so far to emerge from COP26 involving Joe Biden comes courtesy of the UK Daily Mail. Quote, he is supposed to be committed to reducing emissions. But when President Joe Biden produced a little natural gas of his own at the COP26 summit, it was audible enough to make the Duchess of Cornwall blush. An informed source has told the Mail on Sunday that Camilla was taken aback to hear Biden break wind as they made polite small talk at the global climate change gathering in Glasgow last week, which is always great, fresh on the heels of rumors that he had literally crapped his pants in the Vatican. It was long and loud and impossible to ignore, the source said. Camilla hasn't stopped talking about it. The president met the Duchess during a reception on Monday at the Kelvin Grove Art Gallery, attended by Prince Charles, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, and Boris Johnson. Just hours earlier, the 78-year-old, nicknamed Sleepy Joe by Donald Trump, had appeared to doze off during the opening addresses, prompting more questions from his political rivals over his fitness for office. This is not the first time that Biden has faced claims that he broke wind publicly. In May 2020, Republicans, including Donald Trump Jr., posted a video clip of Biden containing a suspicious noise while live streaming an exchange with Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf. However, a separate video, which circulated last month and briefly trended on Twitter under Fartgate, was found to have been doctored to include fake flatulence. So, yeah, it's always great when the big headline coming out of a global warming reduction conference is that you have emitted carbon from your ass. That's always a great look. And again, that is just, I think, writ small what this Biden administration is right now. The American people are unhappy with the Biden administration. They've done nothing of note on the foreign policy stage other than to make a bunch of weird noises over at this COP26 conference and then also surrender Afghanistan. Oh yeah, I forgot. Also, the U.S. Navy is now commissioning the USS Harvey Milk because we need a Navy ship. We need to name a Navy ship after a gay rights activist who also in his life was pretty credibly having sex with underage guys. Definitely need a Navy ship named after that. That's great. Meanwhile, the Chinese are developing like 1,000 nuclear weapons. So things are going great for the Biden administration. And here's the thing. It doesn't seem like things are set to get better anytime soon for Joe Biden. In fact, last week, you saw that Joe Biden snapped at Peter Doocy from Fox News when Doocy read a Wall Street Journal report and pointed out that the Biden administration was reportedly going to give $450,000 to people who had crossed the border illegally and been separated from their families. And Biden just yelled at Peter Doocy. And then it turns out that he was wrong, and his own administration had to walk it back. Well, then over the weekend, he snapped again at a Fox News reporter, this time snapping by saying, why wouldn't you want me to pay them? So remember, just a few hours earlier, he was like, why would you say that? No one's getting paid. And no one's getting paid. And now he's like, why would you be angry if we're paying people? What's wrong with it? There we go.
You said last week that this report about migrant families at the border getting payments was garbage.
No, I didn't say that. Let's get it straight. You said everybody coming across the border gets $450,000.
The number was what you had a problem
with. The number I was referring to.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing.
Sure.
If, in fact, because of the outrageous behavior of the last administration, you coming across the border, whether it was legal or illegal, and you lost your child, you lost your child, it's gone. You deserve some kind of compensation, no matter what the circumstance.
So now he's just as angry about people correctly reporting it as he was when he thought that they were misreporting it. He's very angry. If you lost your child. Okay, this isn't going well for Joe Biden. He's completely inauthentic. Nobody takes him seriously. He's literally farting on the world stage. He is leaving stinkers on the world stage. Even the media have now turned on him to a certain extent. ABC's Good Morning America did a report on the supply chain impact on normal families across the country. It didn't look great for Joe Biden.
This year, like Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving, you may have to trim your list of trimmings.
What kind of a Thanksgiving dinner is this? Where's the turkey, Chuck?
Top turkey seller Butterball says it doesn't expect an overall gobbler shortage, but if you're hunting for a smaller bird, they could be tough to find. And it's not just the main dish at risk of running afoul. For your cranberry sides, Ocean Spray tells ABC it's committed to meeting customer demand, but experienced a variety of supply chain challenges.
Okay, and so Joe Biden's response to this is to get super angry at everybody for pointing out the supply chain challenges. which again have been exacerbated by bad union contracts at the ports, which have been facilitated by Democrats for decades, as well as the giant labor shortage that continues to hamper the economic recovery. By the way, there's some very good statistical evidence to demonstrate that the labor uptick that we saw last month was almost completely due to the fact that all of those benefits the federal government was providing people to stay home started to run out. And so people started to go back to work. The charts are very telling on that particular subject. So in a second, we'll get to Joe Biden's response to the supply chain crisis. And it's always just indignation. Just indignation at being questioned. This is the thing about Joe Biden. He's always been this. Now, I know that we were supposed to pretend that he was super empathetic and wonderful. He was the kind of guy who's going to sniff your hair and rub your shoulders and make you feel better about yourself, or alternatively, just sniff your hair and rub your shoulders and make you feel creepy. But Joe Biden has always been the jerk who yells at you if you cross him. And he's always been the guy who, if you cross him, he says, well, fat, look fat. Right? He's always been that guy. Joe Biden has a problem with supply chains, right? All the prices are going up. People are not going to get what they need in time for the holidays. Everything is taking a really long time to be delivered at this point. And so Joe Biden's solution to this is to yell at the reporters and the American people. It's they who don't understand. Don't you know? You don't understand. Ugh! He just kind of keels over. Here's Joe Biden.
If we were all going out and having lunch together and I said, let's ask whoever's in the next table, no matter what restaurant we're in, have them explain the supply chain to us. Think they'd understand what we're talking about? All I can say is what I'm going to try to do is explain to the American people as best I can. And by the way, you all write for a living. I haven't seen any one of you explain the supply chain very well. No, I'm not being critical. I'm being deadly earnest. When your editor says, explain the supply chain. Okay?
I'd love to hear Joe Biden explain the supply chain. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure which end more hot air comes out of when it comes to Joe Biden. I really don't know. I mean, he's just, I'd love for him. Really, give us a disquisition on the supply chain, Joe. By the way, the media coverage on the supply chain hasn't been wrong. I've read the articles on the air from the Wall Street Journal in detail about the supply chain. From Scott Lincecum, I've read details about the supply chain. I've read you from National Review. I've read you from the New York Times. Joe Biden doesn't know anything about the supply chain because Joe Biden doesn't know anything about anything. And he's continuing, but you, the American people, are ignorant. You are ignorant. When you go to the grocery store and you're paying like 30% more than you were 6 months ago, that's because you're stupid. If you only understood, you'd know that Joe Biden is doing all the right things. The magic is happening. You're just too ignorant. And the reason you're too ignorant is not because Joe Biden is bad at his job. It's because the media, who pretty much spend every waking moment trying to clean up Joe Biden's mess, the one that he made in his bed every morning, the media whose job it is to be his night nurse, along with Jen Psaki and the White House press office, he's saying they don't do a good enough job. He's the one crapping the bed. It's just everybody else is doing a bad enough job or noticing that it stinks.